So when I first came here, I felt a lot of history and a lot of, let's say, theater tradition and biography of the theater, which is always beautiful to see because it's unique and it's, let's say, it's the soul of the theater actually. All the old stories, all the performances that have been here, all the actors that have made their debut and played their last performance and lived here and loved here and hated here and survived here. So that's what you feel. It's a theater with an enormous, old soul.
Do you think theaters today sometimes lose this feeling?
Yeah. I'm working in many countries and many theaters, and what I see is from the moment theaters get restorated, they're most of the time restorated as a kind of alternative nuclear bunker, as I call it, in case there is a nuclear war breaking out and everybody can flee into the theater and hide into the theater. So a lot of theaters have lost, actually, through renovation, through restoration even, their soul. So that's many times missing, yes.
Belgium and Lithuania are different, but both have complicated histories and questions about identity. Do you think theaters feel this especially strongly?
Oh, that's a very complicated question, I would say. Of course, the theater should be, let's say, a reflection of what is living in society. That's already what Hamlet is saying in the Shakespeare text, that we should mirror actually reality. And of course, when this society is complex, like in Vilnius and like in Flanders, where I live, where we have actually in Belgium, we are obliged to speak 3 languages, French, German, and Flemish. That is a complex reality, very complex reality. So, but what is good about arts and certainly about the theater is that we created this as a free space where we can say maybe the things we can't say outside on the street. So where we can exchange without being imprisoned, where we can say through the clown or the tragic hero, the thoughts we may not say aloud in life. We are not allowed to say, in real life. So that is, in that sense, theater has an essential place actually in our society, because it's a place where I like to call it a healing place, where we see into, or we allow ourselves to see and to exchange the things that might not be discussable in reality. Yeah.
Vilnius Old Theatre is changing, is going through some changes, yes? New languages, new genres, new audiences. What feels most important when a theatre goes through that changes? What do you think?
Through, let's say, the capitalistic pressure we're all living under, that means we have to work harder for less money in the meantime, everybody of us. Also, the theaters have to entertain more to gain more. And they're losing their awareness everywhere in Europe to make art. And because everybody's afraid to lose his job, also in the theater, of course, and the theaters are forced to make more box office money. So that is something I think we should absolutely stay aware of. What is art? What is the difference between art and entertainment? Because art, art is more, let's say, confronting. Art creates a space where we allow and accept to see the dark sides of life, the dark sides of ourselves, and to learn to accept also the dark sides of ourselves. And entertainment is just, let's say, distraction. It's something you forget. When you leave the theater, you have already forgotten it. But art can change your view of not only your perspective of not only the world and reality around you, but also yourself and your ideas about your neighbor. And that is, to my opinion, more and more important in today's world.
And the last question, short but very important. Did something here spark your curiosity as an artist?
Here in this theater? Of course. You know, what you feel when you come into this theater is an enormous tradition. But what you also feel is a fear to lose this tradition. And then I always have to think about a quote of Gustav Mahler. He said, tradition is not abiding the ashes of the past, it's living the fire of the past. And that's what kicked me actually to say, okay, how, instead of being afraid to lose the past, how to find the fire and to dream of a new future.